Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology horoscope for Tuesday, October 1st, 2013. I'm astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, we are at October now. I can't even believe it. I mean, October 2013. And, you know, this is a month that is going to be one of twerking. No, I'm just kidding. Well, kind of. Not really. But yeah, check out Twerktober if you want to get deep into the whole month. But today is a big deal. We have the sun, which is about to square Pluto, and it's literally happening today, and it's into tomorrow, and the next day, which is then the sun opposing Uranus. And this all has to do with the Pluto-Uranus square. Sure, the moon moves into Virgo today, and Mercury is trining Neptune, so there's a lot to talk about, but I first want to talk about the Pluto-Uranus square. If you don't know much about astrology, I would research Pluto and Uranus squares, because they're very intense. This is why this has been such a dramatic time in our lives, as we're having to really go through these big shifts, this intensity. And in some cases, and I'd say many cases, it's extreme energy that is changing in our lives. It is extreme pressure that we have to step into. It takes courage, it takes strength, it takes overcoming extreme fears to get the harmony in your life. Believe it or not, today is the beginning of starting to realize it's not easy to get there. And it's going to take you overcoming your fears. There is extreme fears that you have to overcome, but it's going to take courage in ways you've never found before. This is more importantly, you really be paying attention to the real signs. When Mercury comes into Scorpio like this, and when it trines Neptune in Pisces, you can't be more clear in what path to take or what to do. It's whether or not inside of yourself you're willing to put that real plan into motion, have the courage to identify yourself with what you really want and what you really need, and to actually go and get it. This energy, when it's in Libra like this, I hate to say this, but I'm such a real guy with this channel, and I'm such a real astrologer. It really forces you to see if you're making or breaking it. And if you're making it, I'll be honest, there are rewards that you start to feel in as you watch everything start to crumble around you, but you starting to rise higher. And that's what the universe is asking for all of us to do. But for those that, and if it's in yourself, there's aspects of ourselves that still can step into these pressures and crumbling. But this is that spot where you really see how well your life is in harmony, how balanced out it is. And this is that test. It's a big test. It's so hard for me to say this, because I feel for people when this comes their way, because the answer's right in front of you at this point with Mercury and Neptune like this. The signs are everywhere. You should understand what to do, and it's going to take a lot of work to get to this true passion. And yes, love can sometimes get in between. We're learning that with the moon here in Leo, Mars in Leo, and it wants to do it the best way possible. But when you're dealing with Scorpio, it just has to do with whether or not you're connected or not. And there's so many deep ways I can use it, and I've used it on this channel sometimes, but it's sometimes a reminder. Gosh, and the last time I said this, I had somebody on my channel get so mad at me. But this is why we do David Palmer Astrology, the Leo King, is because you're not going to find astrology like this anywhere else. I used the example of sex because it's Scorpio and it's the best way to describe it. But does the mattress really matter? Does the room that you're in matter? Does all these things matter? Or is the fact that you're having it and reaching the climax and the peak and the intensity matter? And so when it comes to aspects of your life, when you start to worry about, money, or if you start to worry about the way that it's gotta be, or I'm with this person and I love them, but they are not what I really deeply, deeply want. What are you doing then? And that's what this is forcing you, that you have to find ways in yourself to really go for what you want. True desire. I brought up yesterday, it's kind of like a dark king or a dark queen. And sure, we can look at that as negative or bad. But the truth is, damn, those dark and kings and queens, they know what they want and they're gonna get it. Now, what they choose makes them dark, right? They want world domination with killing you, or painting all the roses red, even though when they're white. Or, you know, I want to set off crazy energy or be a terrorist or whatever that these people want. At least they know what they want. I'm not saying it's good. All right, David Palmer is not saying it's all good, but what I am saying is the credibility and understanding what you want is on that level. And now it's about aligning it correctly in the right things to be a light king or a light queen. That's what these times are about. How do you think a new age works? With everybody sitting on the fence and not knowing what they want, or knowing what they want and not having the courage or the energy or the spirituality, vitality to go get it, it doesn't really make for a really good new age, does it? And so these next 3 days test whether or not you really have what it takes. Sure, it's great to do all these practices, meditations and yoga and, you know, all the beautiful spirituality things, all these books that you see out there everywhere in the world. But at the end of the day, if you don't know how to go for what you want, or if you're not really living in it, to me, and I'm just going to be honest here, it really tests your ability to live in this new age now. That you're going to have to ditch all your old ways, and there's a lot of people out there. A lot. Hence, we have a Pluto Uranus square. This is what the universe does to the collective, is to break down everybody so hard to where they finally find out how to be that new age truth and to find your real self. Now we have Uranus and Saturn, which are making a pretty much, it is a perfect quincunx. Your persona, your identity, but more importantly, the way that your identity is coming across and out, the way that, in many ways, Aries is the start of a new day, the way that the new hour is, right? So it's like the way that your energy beams out has to be correctly positioned with your truth now. So, if the good example is somebody that's just not living in their truth, even though they're talking about it, or they're working their way to get there, or whatever, you're still not there. So how are you going to realign your life? It's going to take courage like you've never found in yourself before. Trust that the support from the universe is there. There are these attachments, Libra, that are getting in the way of your destiny and, more importantly, the self that you want. I don't know how better else to help you or to really transform your life for you any more than that. It can be a lonely road, but the lonely, weird road actually leads to the collective connection road of this new age, because individual people empowered create a collective that's empowered. So this is going to take the extreme energy now. That's these next couple days. And the moon comes into Virgo today, which begins its dark phase once it gets closer, of course, to the sun in Libra near the end of this week. But, you know, you have the last chance here that happiness is not by, right now at least, not by hugs and kisses and so forth without you living in your truth. Sure, if you love somebody, but they're not right for you because Mars is still squaring Venus, how is this really truthful or going to work anymore? And you've got to, it's that period when you go through a breakup. This is the life when that period of like, you break free of what's been holding you back, even though it's actually almost feeling scarier because you're leaving it. I've used example with some people, it's a lot like a hooker leaving a pimp. It could be scary, and you could think like, well, he might kill me, or da-da-da-da. But it's always like in every movie that when you finally leave, it's the best thing for you, and the universe finally comes in and supports you the right way. You got to do all this stuff now, you know? That's what this is leading towards. That's what these next couple days are testing. Testing your new age way to flow through this new age. Because the way to go into this new age is you have courage like no other, you know and identify with what you want, and you have a plan that you will die for. And you go for it. And you do not let any connection be the key to unlock that. Sure, I'm not saying that you can't have connections. I have millions of connections, and the world has millions of connections, and we all have connections, and we all need connections in our life. But if you rely on a connection to get there, how are you going to get there? What if that connection doesn't work out? And in many ways, as we're trying to weigh all these things out in our life, all this Libra energy, there is a truth, there is a sign, there is a real understanding that's hidden underneath all this that you need to find in yourself. That is probably your own abilities which need to shine, your own ways of actually coming into your truth without letting values that are probably run out and old get in the way. Your idea of what love is, which usually forgets about self-love first. So this can be people caught up in relationships that they don't want to be in, but they think they do. This is all about you really being in your power. How is this new age going to come into effect if you don't have it within yourself? That's how I look at the Pluto Uranus square. I take a look at it. The last one we had was in 1929, 1930, 31. And these events you could feel coming in as Uranus came into Aries and Pluto started to come into Capricorn, and all this energy over the last 4 or 5 years has been building to break us down to this couple years right here. What do you think all 2014 is? A Pluto Uranus square. So if you think you're way out of the road, a lot of people have been asking me, well, when are we out of this road here? When do we get back to just soda pops and, you know, at the pool? You have that right now. All of the life that you had of greatness is waiting for you right now. But we all have a hard path to get there. The faster you pack up and get on it, where you think actually you're on a hard road now, the truth is that the hard road is actually the best road. Does that make sense? That the work, the trail, the going for where you need to go in your life that you are probably scared as hell to go to, or you think the money is not there for it, or all of these energies that just don't feel like they would work out are actually the ones where you do. Because this is a mountain to climb where you know the top of the destination. You must believe and you must trust that the universe is going to support you 100%, and you need to let go of these connections that feel like I need somebody to carry me onto that road, or I need this, or I need that drug, or I need that alcohol, or I need those clothes to do it, or I need this, or I need that, or I need this to get there. No, 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 no. There's nothing you need except your own divine power and the connection to the spirit and universe that connects you to the one. And to understand the plan and to use this plan. Those with plans that they're willing to die for are the ones that are doing great right now. Those that actually at the end of the day, when you put that plan to the test and it doesn't really have legs, are the ones that are crumbling hard right now. All right, I brought it out. I hope that helps you guys, because I know this can be kind of an intense week for a lot of people. For others, you know, this is the test of those who've got it going on and those who don't. So those that don't, be there for them. I think there's an aspect that you need to be there for them. But at the same time, what are you doing for yourself to get there? And how well does this energy really work for you? There is no such thing as fear unless you are the one that's harboring that fear. It's not an external event or circumstance. You're the one harboring that fear. A plan that you'll die for? That'll get rid of any fear. Because you know why? No matter what's coming at you, or what your perception of what's coming at you that fears you, can get in the way of you, I'm gonna die for this. Check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com, if you have any questions, or if you want to have a one-on-one reading. I'm doing readings until October 21st. So I've got some spots left for that week right before I leave there. So check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com. Thank you guys for all your support, and I will see you tomorrow.